There are a lot of reasons why people are moving into the state of North Carolina. It's an amazing place to live, amazing place to work. But for some people, North Carolina may not be right for them. On today's video, we're going to give you 7 reasons why people are moving out of North Carolina. Hello everyone, this is Chris Morton, real estate broker with eXp Realty in Raleigh, North Carolina. And the first reason we know of that people are leaving the state of North Carolina is the high cost of living. So we've talked about it a lot on this channel, but housing costs in North Carolina are going up and up and up. That is especially true in the big cities such as Raleigh, Durham, Charlotte, Wilmington, on and on and on. Cost of living, cost of housing is going up and up and up. You can still get a relatively good deal in some of the rural, smaller towns, but even there, cost of housing is going up, especially compared to some of our neighboring states. When you add on top of that the fact that North Carolina unfortunately has higher taxes than some of our neighboring states, well, then you can imagine and can see why people are considering and are indeed leaving the state of North Carolina. Georgia, for example, has the 5th lowest cost of living in the United States, and Tennessee has the 8th lowest cost of living. So suddenly when prices are going up for housing, for taxes, on and on and on, these states and others are becoming more attractive. The number 2 reason people are moving out of North Carolina is the changing culture. We've talked about it a lot on this channel, and it's just common knowledge all over the country that North Carolina is one of the most popular states in the entire union to move into. When that happens, obviously you are going to have a diluted culture. The culture becomes more of a hodgepodge, very similar to other places in the country, and if you were born in North Carolina or you're from the South, you're probably noticing a change where people are getting a little bit more rude, a little bit more honking of horns, less door opening, that sort of thing. And it's naturally making you think maybe we should pick up stakes and move somewhere else. On top of that, a lot of people are moving to the bigger cities. So the bigger cities are getting more and more crowded. For some of you watching, you probably are laughing when I say that Raleigh is feeling crowded. I had clients in yesterday and I was relaying this information to them that those of us that are locals, been here a while, we think Raleigh's getting crowded. They laughed and said, "You don't have no idea what crowded is. This is amazing." They were saying Apex was abandoned. I drove through Apex today showing houses and it was like really busy to me. So I guess it's all perspective. But anyway, back to it. People that are local to the North Carolina area and to the South get really uncomfortable in confined spaces. We're used to personal space. Before social distancing was a trendy thing, we had personal space. And as the cities are getting more and more crowded, it means you're getting less and less personal space, which is definitely causing locals to think about moving out to another state like South Carolina, where the population is 1/2 what it is in North Carolina. The number 3 reason people are leaving the state of North Carolina is allergies. So North Carolina is a very humid state, which means we have lots of vegetation and trees, which causes pollen. Pollen affects some people very much dramatically so, and allergies become an issue. Generally for most people, myself included, allergens usually only cause sneezing fits a couple of weeks in the spring when pollen season starts and a couple of weeks in the fall when the leaves are starting to fall off the trees. But for some people, allergies can be a really big deal all year round. And this severity of allergens causes some people to think, we need to move to a more drier climate. And so that's what's happening for some people. The number 4 reason people are moving out of North Carolina is retirement. So North Carolina is highly rated as one of the best states to retire to in the entire country, but it's not a good place for everyone to retire to. One of the big reasons that people are moving to other states is the high cost of living that we talked about a bit ago, where taxes are higher in North Carolina versus, say, South Carolina and Florida. As well, cost of housing is a bit more expensive. So naturally, if you are downsizing and can't afford the cost of a new house in North Carolina, you're going to set your sights on other opportunities. Plus, for some people, they really like the golf courses of South Carolina or the beaches of Florida a little bit better than North Carolina. Understandable. The number 5 reason people are moving out of North Carolina is jobs. And yes, I know what you're thinking. North Carolina is one of the, if not the number one, best place to get a job in the United States and find a job and have a job. Yes, that is very true. People are moving into the state of North Carolina literally every single day for a great job opportunity. But that being said, things happen occasionally where you may get a job advancement and need to move out of the state. That is happening. In addition, North Carolina is very well known for our university system. We have UNC, Duke, Wake Forest, among many other universities all over the state. These universities attract people in from all over the world, all over the country that go to school there. And of course, as well, some of the locals like myself go to school there. And while many of these students are going to stay in the state of North Carolina after graduation, some are going to find some great opportunities for jobs in New York City or wherever. In addition, they may get their first job in North Carolina and get an advancement just like those other people I talked about a second ago and have to move out of the state. So jobs and job advancement would be one of the reasons people are moving out of North Carolina. The number 6 reason people are moving out of North Carolina, the bugs and animals. So the bugs we have here in North Carolina can be admittedly a little overwhelming. We have, and I don't mean to gross you out, we have flying cockroaches, beetles, mosquitoes, wasps. We even have biting ants, the most infamous being our fire ants that will grab hold of you unexpectedly and give you a really nasty sting, and it's going to itch for a little while. We also have snakes. The most famous snake we have in our state is the copperhead. We've talked about the copperhead snake on many of our videos in the past. Yes, they are a reality. In addition, we have water moccasins, cottonmouth snakes, among many others. If you grew up in North Carolina, these bugs and these animals, snakes, probably don't scare you all that much. We're just used to them. They're there and they do their thing, and we avoid them as best we can, except those darn mosquitoes. Can't avoid those. But if you're new to the area, you may be a little bit nervous about all of this, all of these bugs and snakes. You may have done some research and gotten yourself a little bit lathered up over this. Please know that yes, you need to be on the lookout for these critters, especially the snakes, but they're not as obvious to find, and they're not all around everywhere crawling around in your yard and whatnot as you would expect. We have a lot of clients moving in from out of state, and one of the first questions they ask us about is our snake infestation problem. My clients from yesterday that I told you about were very nervous about it. I had to calm them down and let them know that it really isn't that big of an issue. As even though we are the number one snake county, and Wake County is the number one snake county in the United States, that doesn't mean they're all out and about everywhere. I've literally seen one copperhead snake and one black snake in the past couple of years. That includes all of the many walks we take on the Greenway with Winston to get him some exercise. It's just not that big of a thing. Definitely be aware of them, but know that they mostly habitate in areas where there's water, like a lake or a wooded area. So if you're buying a house in a wooded area or near a body of lake, definitely be aware of it. Definitely know that snakes could be around, but by and large, they're not as prevalent as you might think. We're always envious when we go to Arizona or California or places where they don't have a lot of bugs and snakes, and you can have an enjoyable time out, like a pool party, and not worry about getting eat up by the mosquitoes, as we say around here. However, the good news is here in North Carolina, we don't have scorpions that crawl into people's houses. I've literally never heard of a snake crawling into someone's house. It could happen here in North Carolina, but it's not like those scorpions that happen in Arizona. By the way, I should interject here for all of you people who are about to hit the comment button below and tell us that people are not leaving the state of North Carolina because of our mosquitoes. That is true. We're not saying that these are exclusive reasons people are leaving the state. More likely, it's a combination of things where they have an opportunity to move to a place where there's less taxes And by the way, I'm sick and tired of all of these mosquitoes, that sort of thing. So put the cursor down, finish watching the video. You don't have to complain about our bugs and snakes as being a reason people exclusively are leaving the state. Which brings us to the 7th reason people may be moving out of North Carolina, and that is looking for greener pastures. So maybe the beaches of Florida, the tropical scenery of like Key West or Miami, or maybe the big city lights of New York, Boston, Los Angeles, or something like that is attracting you if you're from North Carolina. Understandable, that is the case. Some people decide they need to move away from the tobacco fields and cornfields of North Carolina to the concrete jungle of New York. We get that. However, we have had some people recently who've messaged us back saying they were from North Carolina or they lived in North Carolina in the past and they really feel like it's time that they come home. That is understandable as well. For most people, they're going to find North Carolina is an amazing place to live, great food, great people, great things to do, see, and have fun at. Understandably, there are going to be some people that prefer tropical beaches or big city life. We understand you need to move away. We're just going to miss you. Hope you've liked this video. We think you're going to like this one as well. You might want to check that one out. If you're considering a move out of the state of North Carolina or into North Carolina, my team and I would love to be your real estate agents of choice. You can email us at hello@mortonbradbury.com or click on the link in the description below. Please like and subscribe to this channel if you have not already done so. And with that being said, we'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.